Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. This video is about what to stockpile now. I go through phases, I'm sure you all do, of kind of what you're emphasizing right now. Just did a video recently. I don't know if you'll see it, if it was yesterday's or if it will be a couple days ago. It's within the last couple days of stockpiling seeds. That's a big one for me right now. I foresee seed shortages on the horizon. If it doesn't happen, great, fine. I have lots of seeds and I have peace of mind. So that's on the forefront of my mind. But I already did a video about that. So what's on my mind and what's at the top of my priority list right now? Right now is quantity. Bulk foods. Mass quantities of food. You're talking beans, rice, lentils, corn, wheat, those kind of things. So what all do I stockpile? I like, we do pinto beans, we do garbanzo beans, we do lentils, we do all different kinds of lentils. There's a lot of different, like colors of lentils and stuff like that. We do dried peas. We do some corn, but not that much because it's not available around here like it is in the Midwest and a lot of the rest of the country. We do wheat. Hard red wheat is our favorite. We do lots of rice. I forget if I already said that. Quinoa. Barley. Yeah, we do barley. Red beans, black beans, any kind of bean, basically, we stockpile. As well as my family loves peanut butter. I've talked about that recently in videos. We like stockpiling peanut butter. But we also rotate it. We also use a lot of peanut butter. And a lot of people worried about rotating their food storage and best by dates and expiration dates. Use your brain and make your own decisions. Don't say that Michael at Asymmetrical Preparedness told me it's good, because I'm not saying it's good. But I don't really worry about used best by dates and expiration dates, because the fact is people have opened up canned goods found in like bomb shelters from like the 1950s and the 40s and maybe even earlier, and they've opened up the canned goods and they've still been good. They've still been good to eat. They found wheat in the tombs of pharaohs in Egypt that are, thousands of years old, and it was still viable. It still sprouted, it still grew, it still held most of its nutritional value. Some stuff like that, over time, the nutritional value will just decrease. And the ability of the seed to sprout may also decrease. So if you're going to use them for seeds, or you're worried about your seeds for long-term storage, just understand that maybe not every single one of them will sprout. Maybe just over-plant with your seeds. And if they all grow, then just thin them. You can, transplant them if you can. If not, just thin them. Throw them in the, feed them to your animals. Throw them in the compost bin, pile, whatever. But mass quantities of food. What are some other things included in that? I've been mainly talking about dry goods. Dry bags of dried beans, rice, stuff like that. But also cans of them. I'm not talking canned rice. I'm sure it exists. Especially in Asia, it probably exists, but you don't really see it that much around here. But what do you have? You have like the big number 10 cans of beans. That's why I love restaurant supply stores. I love our local restaurant supply store. That's where I go get 50-pound bags of rice, 50-pound bags of beans. Awesome. For what, like $30-ish for beans? That's a pretty good deal. I forget the exact price, but affordable. I've been seeing food prices across the board increasing though. Things are getting more expensive. So like I've mentioned, some people have made comments, that I talk about, how it's easy now, food is cheap, stuff like that, and how they mention that food is actually increasing. Yeah, it is, but it's still reasonably affordable, right? I mean, food isn't like so expensive you can't afford it now. It is increasing in price. Yes, I get it. That's why we should be preppers, so that we're prepared if things do get to the point where they're unattainable or too expensive or shortages or just not available at all. That's why we prep. So those are some of the things I'm thinking about. Also, like I did prep of the day recently, fuel. Stockpile some fuel because fuel is probably going to go up soon. Everything's pretty much going up because of everything going on. I don't know if you guys have kept your ears to the ground, your heads in a swivel, and know what's going on. I don't really have time to go into it, and I'm not that knowledgeable to go into all of it, but I've seen some stuff, heard a lot of stuff, seed shortages, food shortages, countries not exporting crops for the next year or so, how they're just holding on to it. Well, nobody's exporting. A lot of countries aren't exporting. Some of our largest suppliers are not exporting. Yet we're still exporting, which means our food is still going out there, yet nothing's coming in. What does that mean? That's not a good situation to be in. Increased food prices? Probably. Shortages? Likely. Big crisis? Possibly. I hope not. But we need to be prepared for these things. That's why we're preppers. This is why we think about these things. So yeah, mass quantities of food, grains, the basics of life. That's what I like to prep. I also go through phases where I'm into the more like cans of fruit, morale items, macaroni and cheese, just pastas, pasta sauces, canned soups, all those kind of things that are quick and easy, which is good to have balance. So have balance. Make sure if you do have lots of the dried goods, then make sure you start balancing your stuff. Maybe that's where you need to put your emphasis. I'm just telling you where I put my emphasis. I'm fairly well balanced, but I'm always looking at, I'm always going like this. It's like a wave. Sometimes I'm on this kick, and then I come off that kick and I get on another kick to keep myself balanced, to always self-analyze and see what do I need now. This is my strong point now, so I need to pick up my game in this area. And remember, well balanced, you need all these nutrients, all these minerals, all these vitamins in your diet. You need, the big three: protein, carbs, and fats. That's the macronutrients. But you also need all the micronutrients from all the different kinds of vegetables, all the different kinds of fruit, all the different kinds of meats and fats and stuff like that give you all these essential vitamins and minerals. One of the big things is color. Different kinds of vegetables and fruits have different colors for a reason. So a very colorful diet is a healthy diet. I also advocate eating just healthy, whole, natural foods. Keep the processed crap to a minimum. I get it. My family loves macaroni and cheese, and come on, who doesn't like a pizza? Or some Taco Bell, or burritos, tacos, whatever it may be. Make them at home though. You can do that kind of stuff without having, keeping the processing to a minimal. Also, some ways to cut corners. Instead of the convenience of nowadays of buying sliced cheese, of buying shredded cheese, just buy a block of cheese. You can slice it yourself. It's possible. They even make cheese slicers. I have one my grandfather made, and it's just basically a really thin wire hooked to a little handle, and you go like that, and it just slices the cheese. Works really well. Or you can use this magical and new high-fangled invention. It's called a knife. And those things they call cheese graters, they work amazingly enough. So you can save yourself some money there also. Long-term canned goods are also good. The freeze-dried canned goods, long-term shelf life, long-term food storage type stuff. Those are some of the things that I'm emphasizing right now that I feel is very important. Sorry. I had to get a drink of water. My throat was getting dry from all I was talking. Oh, speaking of that, water. There's always a big one to improve upon. Not just your water storage. I mean, yeah, you can get things like this, Kirkland, Costco, water, bottled water, sure. But we've been getting the big blue Igloo 6-gallon jugs that are like tall and kind of skinny. They're only like maybe about that wide and they're taller. We get them in the camping section at Walmart. $14-ish for 6 gallons. Pretty good, pretty affordable, sturdy. They have a little vent valve on them and stuff like that. If it heats up and they start to expand, stuff inside starts to expand, the law of expansion, contraction, heat, cold, yeah. Also, if it starts to freeze, there's a little valve, little thing that'll relieve pressure. I like that. Really good quality. They're blue, BPA free, food grade, of course. They're meant to have water in them to drink. So recently we've picked up 5 more of those. Also, the blue barrels are really good. The food grade barrels are really good. We do that. And then nothing I do. I put water in almost anything I possibly can. My wife loves, and my kids love Fairlife chocolate milk. So those Fairlife chocolate milk jugs. Also regular milk jugs. And I get it. This isn't water for drinking. You don't want to put water in jugs that had dairy products and stuff like that. You may be able to do it. I'm just saying I prefer not to. So, but I put water in everything. Even the big jugs of laundry detergent. When you get done with those, with the liquid laundry detergent, I rinse them out, fill them full of water. I don't even worry about rinsing them out perfectly because that's flushing toilet water. That's watering the garden water. So yeah, I mean, I rinse them out good enough so it's not going to get chemicals all over the place. I get it. We try to use fairly natural laundry detergents also anyway. But fill up any container you possibly can, because if you have the room to store it, and find places to store it. Store as much as you possibly can, because you're going to need a lot of water for doing little things like that. Maybe even bathing yourself, washing yourself, like I said, flushing the toilets, watering the garden, watering the animals, things like that. That maybe doesn't have to have the same exact level of purity than your drinking water is, or you may want to treat it, filter it, stuff like that for your animals. It depends on what the needs are, what the requirements are. But anything that will hold water, old glass jars you can put water in, like spaghetti jars. We drink not on a regular basis, but we drink kombucha sometimes. We get in these big glass jars. So we refill those with water. If you can use it for drinking, make sure you sanitize it really well. Rinse it, wash it, sanitize it really well. Fill it all the way up with water. And one of the key things is that the lid at this area here, without the cap on, fill it all the way up and fill it so there's just a little bit of water, tiny bit of water coming in, so you get that positive bubble on the top. Then put the cap on. That minimizes the amount of oxygen and air and stuff like that and bacteria that's going to be in there. And it minimizes it to almost nothing on some water containers. So then it stores longer, better, safer. But rainwater collection, identifying water sources near you, those are all very important also. So mass quantities of food, mass quantities of food, mass quantities of water, and mass quantities of seeds. Those are my big 3 right now. Other stuff, that stuff, tactical stuff, military-oriented stuff, check it out over on Patreon. That's where we talk about that stuff. That's also a concern. It's always a concern for preppers. We got to be able to defend ourselves. But like I said, that's discussion held over on Patreon. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below, and it's only $1 a month. $5 a month patrons get a different videos sometimes, and the monthly giveaway, which will be getting ready. Actually, I need to film that today, because today is March 1st when I'm filming this. So I'll be getting that video up here. I'll post it on here on YouTube and on Patreon so you guys can see what is in the giveaway to see, hey, that's a good giveaway. Maybe I should be over there. And with only just over 200 patrons, I don't remember exactly how many are $5 and over patrons, but you have a very good chance of winning. So check us out on Patreon if you want to. Prep a little every day and prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.